I'm not convinced my neighbor is dead. I don't think my neighbor is dead. I mean, they should be. I saw the body. Let me back up a bit. I moved into this basement suite in the spring. Not the best place I've ever lived. The ceiling's so low I can press my palm flat against it without getting on my toes. Heating works when it feels like it. I've killed more spiders than I care to count, most of them crawling out of the tiny windows that are supposed to let in light but mostly just invite things in. But it was cheap, and I needed cheap, so I took it. For a while, the upstairs was empty, quiet. I almost started thinking I got lucky. Then the new tenant moved in. Older guy, maybe in his 60s. Gray beard, kind of wiry build, but hunched like he carried more weight than you could see. Never introduced himself. I only caught a glimpse of him once or twice, coming in or out. He kept to himself. Fine by me. I'm not exactly the neighborly type, but even when I didn't see him, I heard him. Mostly at night. He'd walk, that's all. Just walk. Back and forth, over and over. Sometimes from midnight to 4 or 5 in the morning. The pacing never really stopped until the sun started coming up. You'd think it'd get on your nerves, but it was almost rhythmic. Predictable. At least at first. Then came the scratching. At first I figured it was mice. This is the kind of place where you'd expect mice. It'd happen around 3 a.m. Little bursts of sound, sharp and frantic, like claws on drywall, and always after the pacing stopped. He'd walk, then the scratching would start, like something was following him through the walls. I tried to ignore it, until I started hearing the whispering. At first it was so faint I thought it was coming from my phone. Just this quiet murmur above my head, too muffled to make out. I turned everything off. Still heard it. I put my ear right up to the ceiling, held my breath. That's when I heard the words. "Let me back in." Over and over. The voice sounded dry, like wind blowing through old leaves. I don't know how else to explain it. The more I listened, the more wrong it felt. I stopped sleeping through the night. Coffee, podcasts, whatever. I did what I could to stay awake until daylight. It helped. A little. Then, 2 weeks ago, everything stopped. No footsteps, no scratching, no whispering. Just silence. Not peaceful silence either. The kind that makes you realize how loud nothing can be. It rang in my ears. I figured the guy had moved out, or maybe he'd passed away quietly. I thought about going upstairs, but I didn't want to get involved. I don't poke my nose where it doesn't belong. That changed a few days later, when the smell started. If you've ever smelled something dead, and I mean really dead, you know what I'm talking about. It's sour, coppery, and thick. It clings to your lungs. I couldn't breathe in the hallway without gagging. That's when I finally caved. I wrapped a towel around my face and went upstairs. The door was closed, but not locked. I knocked. No answer. I opened it. It was worse than I expected. The kitchen was wrecked. The upper cabinets were ripped from the wall, ripped, not fallen, and splintered like they'd been torn from the inside. The floor was stained with something black and sticky, not blood. Too dark, too thick. Drag marks led from the center of the room to the far corner, and there he was, bent backward in a way that no human body should bend. I don't mean hunched, I mean folded. His heels touched the floor and so did his face. His spine arched up like a bridge, like something had pulled his head and feet toward each other and forced the rest to comply. His mouth was wide open like he'd died mid-scream, but his eyes, they were shut, peaceful. That somehow made it worse. I backed out and called emergency services. They came fast. One of the responders took one look and had to step outside to puke. They asked me a bunch of questions, taped off the unit, and told me to stay out. I haven't slept much since. Last night, around 3 a.m., I woke up to the pacing again. Same rhythm, same sound. Exactly the way it used to be. Back and forth, slow and steady, directly above me. Then came the scratching, then the whispering. But this time it wasn't muffled. It was clear, right above my head. Let me back in. I lay there frozen, staring at the ceiling. I told myself it had to be in my head. Residual stress, maybe. Sleep deprivation. Something logical. Then came the thud. One single solid impact, directly above my bed. Not a creak, not a drop. A thud, like something heavy slammed into the floorboards. This morning I couldn't take it. I went upstairs. The police tape was still there, right across the door. No sign of tampering, except for one thing. Someone had left a note, stuck right onto the tape with a piece of blue painter's tape. Looked like it had been written with shaky hands. The note said, "The door is locked, but I remember the way through the walls." That was hours ago. I've kept the lights on ever since. I can't bring myself to lie down. I don't know what I'll do if I hear it again tonight. I just needed someone else to know, just in case.